Ibarra is excommunicated from the church. Captain Tiago's first response is to forbid Maria Clara from speaking to Ibarra until this excommunication has been lifted. To make matters worse, Father Damaso, Maria Clara's godfather, calls off the young lovers' engagement. Breaking the news to his daughter, Tiago tells Maria Clara that Father Damaso has a relative who recently arrived from Spain whom he intends to betroth her. Aunt Isabel pulls him aside and reprimands him for his callousness, but he asks her what she expects, considering the fact that the priests have told him he himself is in danger of excommunication. Stricken with grief, Maria Clara runs to her room just as the Captain General arrives. The Captain General decides he'd like to speak to Ibarra. Nonetheless, he must first meet with the friars, whom he's reluctant to see. He makes them wait in the antechambers of Tiago's house, where he's staying. When they finally do come in, he treats them brusquely, immediately asking which one is Fray Damaso. They say Damaso is absent because he isn't feeling well, and the Captain General insults the truant priest. When the friars try to broach the subject of Ibarra's excommunication, the Captain General waves them off, dismissing them before they can tell him their thoughts regarding to the conflict. Ibarra arrives to meet with the Captain General, who greets Ibarra very warmly, telling him that he is impressed and pleased by Ibarra's work to improve the town by selflessly building a school. He assures Ibarra that the unpleasantness with Father Damaso will cease to be a problem, for he will speak with the Archbishop and have the excommunication resigned. He tells the young man, warning him to be more careful. When Ibarra leaves, the Captain General summons the mayor and tells him to help Ibarra reach his patriotic goals, and to make sure the young man doesn't face similar circumstances in the future. Meanwhile, Ibarra runs to Maria Clara's room, but she doesn't open the door. Instead, her friends tell him to meet her at the theater that night. Ibarra watches a long procession in the street, which culminates with the Virgin Mary, who is pulled in a cart by people dressed as ghosts. Amidst the celebrations, police officers beat back onlookers to make sure the streets remain clear. Ibarra is disgusted by the vigor these officers apply to the task, and he asks the mayor if they hand out these blows as punishments for one's sins or merely because they enjoy it. The Captain General overhears this and agrees with Ibarra, saying it would be better to ban this kind of celebration. Once again, the Captain General voices his skepticism regarding how much power the town of San Diego grants the church. When he says that it will be better to ban such processions, he aligns himself with the town's younger, liberal body, putting himself alongside people like Don Filippo, who resent the fact that the town must pay for spectacles that only benefit the church. While the town celebrates, the ensign's house remains dark. Inside, Doña Consolacion sleeps in an armchair in unbecoming clothing. That morning, the ensign didn't allow her to go to church because she dresses ridiculously, and because he didn't want to be seen with her. She, on the other hand, thinks she's more beautiful than even Maria Clara. Throughout the day, she grows steadily angrier as she remains pent up in the house, ordering the servants to close the windows so she can't hear the festivities. After being arrested by the civil guard for touching the town's leper, Sisa was transported to the military barracks, where she now sings sad songs that Doña Consolacion hears. "Get her up here immediately," the ensign's wife orders her servants. When the mad woman arrives, Doña Consolacion uses poor Tagalog to order Sisa to sing. This is a habit of hers to appear more cultured, She pretends to not know her own native language, Tagalog. As such, she is pleased when Sisa doesn't understand her demand. She asks a servant in Spanish to translate her request into actual Tagalog. Sisa starts singing a song about vanity, though and Doña Consolacion can't stand to hear the words, erupting in perfect Tagalog. Wag! Wag ka kumanta! Embarrassed by having revealed herself as fluent in Tagalog, Doña Consolacion orders Sisa to dance, calling the poor madwoman an Indio whore and whipping her feet. She draws more and more blood from Sisa, taking a wicked pleasure in the deranged spectacle until the ensign comes in and puts his hand on the dancing woman's shoulder, allowing her to stop. He tells his servants to take Sisa away and to take care for her wounds. When Sisa leaves, the couple starts fighting, shaking the entire house with their blows. The townspeople gather at the Plaza Theater for its last show. Ibarra arrives late and sits beside Maria Clara's friends. Padre Salvi, unable to get Don Filippo, the Teniente Mayor, to eject Ibarra, walks out. Some who witnessed the scene declare their support for Ibarra despite his excommunication. Ibarra is surprised at the news of his excommunication, thinking it medieval. Meanwhile, some civil guards arrive and create a ruckus to stop the show, as the Alferez and his wife are unable to sleep. The crowd descends into disorder, and Don Filippo asks Ibarra for help to calm the crowd. Ibarra in turn spots Elias and asks for his help. At the convent, Padre Salvi hears the uproar, imagines Maria Clara being taken advantage of by Ibarra in the midst of the tumult, and rushes back to the plaza. But the maiden is no longer there. Thinking only of her, he pays heed to no one else despite people calling out to him. The following day, the correspondent reports the noble deeds of Padre Salvi and credits him for selflessly rushing out to calm and protect his flock. The correspondent's mistake about Father Salvi's motives for rushing into the crowd is indicative of the way the public in San Diego view friars. Indeed, the mere image of a priest rushing through a riot seems to bring comfort to onlookers. And this is because the church has cultivated the notion that friars represent salvation. In reality, of course, Salvi's intentions are significantly less pure than the correspondent gives him credit for. A fact that Rizal uses to emphasize the discrepancy between what the people think religious figures represent in Filipino society and what the role they actually play.